All right, here we're going to take a look at our next sensor, and I'm going to first turn on the V5 brain, and we're going to look at the potentiometer. So I'm going to go into devices, 3-wire. The potentiometer has what we'll want to look for. It gives us a range of values between 0 and 4095. Now the analog output or input should be going through and showing that. So actually when I go all the way down, you don't ever want to turn the potentiometer past its physical stops. And in the activity, they're going to go through and talk about, like for example, when we stop, that should technically be 0. Now here's what I kind of do to give a little bit of an idea. So I use a protractor. This is a clear protractor that I have. And I like to go through and turn it, kind of look at different angles. So for example, kind of use the protractor as a little bit of a guide. So if I kind of hold it over here to the side, I have it set at 0. If my finger's set on 0 and I turn it up to about 30 degrees, what value should I see, as I go through and turn it to the varying levels of degrees? So if I go up to 45, if I go up to 90, if I go over to, 130, over to 180, what kind of values do I get roughly when I go through and I turn at the varying angles that I have set. So that's kind of the thing to kind of take a look at with your analog sensor. So you're going to see if you switch between, it has a high output. When I turn it all the way down to where it's down to 0, it's going to give a low input value. Here is a digital output of high. You're going to see it's always going to go through and get a register of high because it's always seeing a value. But again, this is an analog sensor. Digital low. So it's not getting any digital values from that. It's not getting anything from the power. So as I switch over to analog input, that's why this becomes an analog sensor. So this is one of the few analog sensors that we have now within our repertoire for the VEX V5 testbed.